Alright guys, we get to shave with the Stag again today, the 2nd of August. Here we are in Austere August. And this is the white label, and this is the one that was produced right before the current kind of tallow version that he has. Not that silk tallow, not the newest stuff, but that's kind of an alternate line that he did that Chiseled Face has done. So Midnight Stag, and I really enjoyed it yesterday. Loaded a little bit too much. Loaded for 30 seconds. I didn't need to do that. I've had this on soak for several minutes. This is Omega Connaught Jade Boar brush. It doesn't have a whole lot of density, but it's nice and wide, and it just feels really nice on the face, and not a lot of the tips have actually split yet, so it's going to get even better. And it's a very well known, well regarded boar brush, and it's different than a lot of the Smogs because of the large size of its width of the knot this way, and then the shortness relative to the width as well. So I think it sets itself apart. The Karve Christopher Bradley 3 1/4 handle gladius, and then the B plate is what I'll be using. 409, I believe, is the count for today. And here is the Nacet blade. The Karve has long threading. It takes a second to screw it in. All right, maybe about a day and a half of growth. And I think maybe let's try just a 15-second load today on the soap. Get my face wet. And we've got 40 milliliters of water in my jigger here. I will be using the whole set, the Splash from Chiseled Face and the cologne, the EDP. Yesterday I shaved on 2 days of growth, and it was just a little tuggy. Hopefully today will be a little better. I was just so exhausted last night that I didn't shave my usual time to make a 24-hour growth, you know. So we'll do 15 seconds this time. There's 10. And we'll see how much lather we have. Had like 7 passes yesterday. This brush does have a number code, you know, like most Omegas do, and I think it's 01 something or other, but it's not a string of numbers that's easy for me to remember. So check out the description of the video if you are interested in that particular detail. So again, this is, I don't really know what Chiseled Face calls this soap base. I wonder if they call it the original base or what. I might have to send a message and find out. It could be this is the one he came out with in the very beginning of his products, and so this could definitely be called his original base. He developed the silk tallow as a separate line, and he definitely told everybody when the silk tallow came out that it wasn't replacing this one, which is good because, man, it takes a lot of product to get that silk tallow to give you a good amount of lather. A lot more than with this one. I'm sure he didn't want people to run through the soap so quickly that they felt shafted. Well, already that's just a wonderful creamy looking lather. And yesterday I held it back just a little bit, and I did have to add water to it, so this is one that I believe I can kind of whip up to my normal wet specifications. So today on the second, we did hear finally from Stephen Joyner on Reddit about his side challenge of Austere August. Wally Gator is the one who kind of published the rules from last year so that we would have something on August 1st. And then, but those of us who decided to use Midnight Stag this month, we did it on the first day of the month without knowing if there would be any prizes. We just had to step out on faith, and Stephen reminded us of that in his message today. And he is going to be giving out prizes based on, he said there were about, counting me, 19 people that did it on day one. I had, at the time of his comment, I had not yet posted mine. I recorded the video and did the shave on the first. I just didn't post it yet. And so he saw 18 people, and so me make 19. Nice, puffy, cloudy, cloud-like lather here. It's, as you can see, it's not staying down in the bowl. It's not being glue-like, you know, like some of the more oil-rich soap bases of today. And again, 15 seconds, guys. And look at all this lather. Man, that's great. I didn't have to worry about that. So sometimes as you're mixing, one of the things you're accomplishing is what you would expect in terms of making sure that the water is homogeneously mixed with the soap. And so the soap and the water are even. There's not any wet spots, not any dry soapy spots. You know, it's a good mixture. And that's one of the things. Now, there's another aspect to think about as you're mixing if you want to improve your lather. And it's one that I haven't really studied with a lot of really good data. It's a little bit harder to gauge the kind of working the bubbles and the creaminess. You can keep mixing, and a lot of times I think it will improve your lather. And maybe it works some of those little bubbles out and therefore increases your creaminess. But that would take me, and who knows, maybe this month is a great month to try that out and see if maybe I mix for a while and I get a substantially better lather than if I, like right now, I could definitely go ahead and shave with this, and I don't think I'm too far from stopping. But what if I, you know, shaved with this lather for a few days and got the feel for it, and then what if I made this same lather but then kept mixing for, who knows, 5 more minutes, and to see what I would get. Would it congeal down into something really dense and luxurious? Would it not change at all? You know, that's another thing that you're potentially addressing as you keep mixing. And with some soaps, it's very important because you do sometimes you can turn a mediocre gloss soap into an excellent one with just a little extra mixing. Sometimes it doesn't net you as much as you might hope, and the lather is good, and it just, you know, stays a good lather. Sorry, I should have done that off camera. You didn't need to watch me adjust, right? So as of now, I've got 22 milliliters of water in the lather, and that is how much I ended up with at the end of yesterday's shave, I'm pretty sure, where I had twice as much soap. And so I think this will be a better mix, because I did have to add more water to that first pass, after that first pass, and probably during. Yeah, see, this is just not a problem at all. It's feels very nice. It doesn't feel too thin. It is normal to have the middle of the brush go empty for a little bit, but then what you do is you do a swiping motion like this. You can roll some of the lather off and then make yourself that little hole again and press it in like that to kind of circulate the lather through your brush and therefore get some of the creaminess all over the place at the different parts of your face. Yeah, see, this is definitely not too wet. We've got some build up here, so it looks like I can keep reducing even at this early point. We've got a little bit of residual water that is staying in the soap from yesterday, and so that's helping us to pick up soap from the puck. And this is not an overly soft and cushy brush because a lot of the tips have not split yet, so it's definitely really good at pulling up soap. The scent on this puck it's an older puck, of course, because it's the older version of the label, you know. And so it's not quite as strong. And we've got the Karve ready to go. We'll see if this B plate feels a little better today than it did yesterday. A little tuggy, but not too bad. And when I want more comfort, and I know I've kind of got a tuggy shave in for the first pass, I just don't do a lot of buffing. I just kind of go at it and cover every area once. And there you go. And that just really has a great effect of taking down enough to where you don't get that same level of tugginess on the second pass. And let's just splash a little bit of water on. Don't have to do a full rinse all the time, right? Nice airy, pillowy lather. Airy in a good way. Some get airy and they don't have any slickness and they kind of dissipate on your skin, but not this one. Man, I've still got probably 6 passes of lather here. So going forward, maybe reduce it down to 10 seconds of loading. And now I'll do a cross grain pass here. Not really paying too much attention to getting full coverage because I know that this is kind of just a second draft there. And a good rinse, half rinse kind of thing. Load up the brush again, third pass. Be fun watching this brush, see if it changes. Now, some Omegas take a year of use to really change and get comfy, and some longer, which is why I've kind of abandoned them for the most part, because why spend that much time when you've got Zeniths and Smogs that get comfortable much quicker? But this one is different. This one is behaving more nicely. Yeah, see, now we're in the zone of a comfortable shave here. Sure, most people are on their third pass and they're pretty much done. And yeah, it's an older blade, so with a lot more uses on it, so it does take more passes. Now I think if I ever have to go to 6 passes, that might be the point where I start to think about stopping, you know. But on the other hand, if they're quick, I think that can kind of justify it. All right, not feeling very much stubble on my face now after the 3 passes. And we'll do a 4th just to kind of keep reducing the growth. But you know what? When you like your brush, when you like your soap and smelling it and stuff, 4 or 5 passes isn't really too much of a chore unless you're just pressed for time. And yeah, this just feels like a nice touch-up pass, very comfortable. You can sure hear some of the stubble. And I will go ahead and do a slightly against the grain pass right here, kind of like I did on day 1. Coming at it from 2 slant type angles and not really doing a full straight on against the grain. And I think that works well for me to keep irritation at bay. And let's get a good rinse and check it out. Yep, that's a decently close shave. I don't have any irritation or discomfort that's lasting any longer than right now. So very nice. And we go for the splash here. And boy, yeah, this one's so old it doesn't have any weight. It does have the ingredients. It's around this black border of the front label. Homemade, handmade in Rancho Cucamonga, California. And we're looking at alcohol, witch hazel, aloe vera juice, fragrance, calendula. It does have some menthol, vitamin B5 Pro. So those are some of the ingredients. It's not just an alcohol splash. It does have some goodies to help your skin. Tell you what, I was reminded yesterday during the first shave that you get certain scents from the soap, but then there are parts of the top notes especially that are muted with this soap, and that applies to so many different vendors, not just Chiseled Face. And since this is good for the skin, I can kind of back of the neck, all kinds of good places. All right. And then when you use the Aftershave Splash, you're able to definitely get a stronger dose of the scent. In this case, I think it's very similar to what you get from the soap. But then, I love the EDP because you get this wonderful smokiness. Oh, man. And you just don't, that's a piece that is masked by the soap. The soap medium just doesn't translate that particular note very well. Oh, and when it goes into aerosol right then, it just blasts me, and it's terrific. It's that smoke is just phenomenal. So wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Art Chewbacca, for this gear. I am enjoying it, and I know that I'll enjoy it this month. I'm going to clean up my gear now. Just dropped the brush after I gave it a good rinse and a shake out, and then I went over the towel and worked it. And I'm curious to see how much splay we're going to be able to see during the month. As it's not a dense knot. You can see how wide it is, but you can definitely see that it's got plenty of room in there for other bristles. And to me, I don't care. I'm really happy with this. Some people definitely like denser knots, and that's okay. I like the easy backbone that this has, and it's not a floppy brush at all, as you might expect from an Omega. It's not floppy, but it's medium in the backbone, and because it's not dense there. If this was really dense, it could it could take me a while before I would enjoy using it. But right now, the sparsity there is a wonderful thing. It just feels nice on your face because it feels luxurious because it's not trying to shove so many hairs at you. There's plenty of room for the lather to flow through. It lets go of the lather pretty easily. You don't have it doesn't suck in the lather and keep it, and so I'm really gonna like this brush. It may be a happenstance that I was able to use this month, and just a happy little coincidence, because I could definitely have enjoyed the Smoke Owners Club, putting some more uses on it, but this guy I like as well. So that is 409 shaves, and I did not have to tweak this lather with any more water. So 22 milliliters of water, and the 15 seconds of loading, right? Is that what I did? Yeah, 15 seconds. Now, you saw the suds that had kind of built up in the tub earlier. I did tip the tub over and kind of sweep those extra suds into the lather bowl. And so I am using that part as well. So I can reduce this down to, let's try 10 seconds next time. You know what, I'm also going to try face lathering with this soap. I mean, we've got a whole month to enjoy this same gear, so why not run some variations like the face lathering and maybe the hyper mixing, where we're going to mix for a few minutes. What I'll probably do there with the hyper mixing is just pause the video and just mix for, I don't know, 3-5 minutes, and then that way you guys don't have to watch it, right? And then come back and we'll just look at the lather and see if it's any different. So this was just a very enjoyable lather today, just like yesterday. I didn't have to tweak it because I got the hydration level right from the beginning today. And sure, it started out a little tuggy with Nacet and the Karve together, but I've ended up with a nice shave that's comfortable. I don't have any irritation at this point, and so there we go. 4 passes. Yeah, and then on the 4th pass is when I did the kind of double angled, almost against the grain work right there, so I didn't even have to go into a 5th pass for that. So the Nacet keeps trucking, and again, this is a blade I haven't flipped over yet, except for once when I made a mistake. I've shaved with it all on one side, and so I think that's maybe speaks to further evidence of it. Just for guys who religiously flip their blades, maybe use it once and always flip it and use it the other side. It just doesn't matter for the most part. All right, well, there we go. Man, Midnight Stag, I will not get tired of this scent, I believe. I just like it so much. And if you like Midnight Stag and you've never tried the cologne, the EDP, it is, to me, it brings a whole new level to it of woodiness and smokiness that I definitely endorse it. You might be able to find somebody to pour some out into a little spray bottle for you and give you, it's called a decant if you don't know what that is. And where you buy maybe 5 milliliters of it, and then you can try it out. So it just brings a whole different level to the party, and I really enjoy it. All right, guys, I think we're done. So we'll lower the soap load next time, and wonderful lather again from Chiseled Face. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care now. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves.